Hi, Christina. Thanks for watching. This is just a quick look at how Google views and ranks your website in the search results. By understanding how the program works, we can use this to your advantage to get you to the first page, so that way you're the first click and the first call whenever anybody's looking for services in your area. So I've got your website up here. It appears to be pretty easy to navigate. All the drop-down menus work. We've got the click to call, so it's probably mobile optimized. As far as Google is concerned, it's going to rank your website based on two different factors. The first is going to be the content. So it's going to come in and it's going to count all the words of text on the page. It's usually looking for about 1,000 to 1,500 words. Reason being is it assumes that the more information you have on the page, the more of an expert you are in your field. Now, while it's counting, it's also looking for keywords. It could be anything that a person would type into Google search, which is usually going to be a service that you offer and then an area that you offer it in. Now, this is where the number of words on the page really comes into play, because you're only allowed to have one keyword for every 100 to 150 words of text on the page. Now, the second way it's going to use to rank your website is what's called the authority, which is basically a popularity contest. The way to build authority is to get what's called citations, which is any time that your name, address, and phone number are listed in an online directory, such as Yelp, Yellow Pages, Better Business Bureau, things like that. Those are usually free to get into. It just takes some time to find them, register, and then input all the information exactly as it's shown in Google. The second way is through what's called backlinks. That's when another website links or refers back to yours and acts as an endorsement for Google to use to build trust because others are vouching for you. It's very similar to a customer review. If you had 1,000 5-star reviews, a new customer would think pretty highly of you. Google is doing the same thing, except it's using other websites. So to see how this determines your ranking and results, if we go back to our search, the first thing you're going to see here is what's called the map pack. This is actually a pretty important area to try to get into, because anywhere from 40 to 60% of people will just click on one of these top 3 listings. It's free to get in here. What needs to happen is you need to fill out your Google Business profile, which is inside the Google Maps app, so you can do it right from a smartphone. You want to be sure to fill out as much of the information as possible, including the services you offer, the areas, even the hours of operation. Then you want to take photos that are geotagged within your service area, upload those and posts to your profile. Get as many customer reviews as possible, and then also find and input as many of those citations, the name, address, and phone number directories. You want to be listed in more of them than anybody else in this list. Then underneath that is what we call the organic listings. This is where the higher the authority or the more trust Google has in your site, the higher up in the list that you're going to rank. So to demonstrate this, I took your website and I put it into this tool that I use, and it shows me all the things that Google finds when it crawls your site as far as the content and the authority. So just to define this a little bit, if the local news station did an article on the best construction company in Massachusetts, the top 10, and inside that article, the reader could click on a link and it would bring them back to your website, that would be considered one referring domain, meaning one website referring back to you. So just by comparison, I clicked in and I found the top competitors in these 2 areas. They're having a little bit more authority than you, which is what's pushing them to the top. Now, something to note here that it's not just about the quantity of these links, it's about the quality. It has to be relevant to your industry. So for instance, if we had like Pizza Hut referring back to your website, Google knows that you're doing roofing and siding, you're not making pizzas, that's not going to add any kind of authority. And if we take a look at the content, these are all the keywords that people are typing into Google search that are being found on your site, and then the volume, the number of times per month that they're being searched. So what we would do here is we would do research to find all the highest volume keywords relative to your area, and then also the services that you provide, and make sure that those are being found and included on your website. So for instance, if we just take one, say Sunrooms, Massachusetts. Right now, you're on the 36th listing, so that's about the 4th page on Google. Unfortunately, nobody's finding you down there. So 60 people a month are searching for sunrooms in Massachusetts. If you were on the first page, 60 people would see your website. Let's be really conservative and say only 10% of those actually give you a call. They click on your website and they call you. That's 6. Let's say even more conservatively, we only have 30% of those that actually get converted into customers. That's 2 sunrooms, 2 new customers each month just off of 1 keyword. Now, I don't know what the profit margin is, but obviously, that'll add a little bit to the bottom line. Then we do that same thing for all the highest volume keywords that we can find in your area and make sure that those are included. So that way all of them are clicking on your website and calling you, and you're getting the business. Now, one more thing I wanted to note, that this company right here are outranking you. They're on the first page, and they are weaker. So this is really where the strength of the domain depends on the relevancy, but then also making sure you're getting found for the right keywords. So potentially they're getting found for a keyword that you're not, and somehow it's pushing more authority to them. But the point is that there are a lot of companies around in your area, even in your service area, and offering the same services, that we could easily pick off the list and get you ranked higher above them on the first page and in the map pack, just by optimizing the website and utilizing the right amount of research to make sure we're hitting all those keywords. So I hope this information was helpful, and you can use it to scale your online presence over some of the competition. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or would like me to go into any further detail about anything. We could also talk about your goals, and I can do some research to find out what it would take for you to reach those. And I always do love getting feedback as well to find out if information like this is useful for you. So please do let me know your thoughts. Thanks, and I look forward to speaking with you.